James, if you want to go ahead and start the recording, we'll go ahead and get started. So thank you all for joining us today. My name is Colby Kirk. I'm the president for the Harlan County Chamber of Commerce this year. Before we get into our meeting, I want to go through just a few quick announcements. First, I want to welcome some new members to the Chamber. Since our meeting last month, we've had 4 new memberships. The first is Backroads of Appalachia. Next is Tri-State Commercial Cleaning, Kentucky Family Dentistry, and the Mountain Association, which our speakers are from today. So thank you all for coming to speak and to join our chamber. Also want to let you know a few announcements. One big one, the chamber is hoping to roll out a member-to-member benefits program this year. We are going to be sending out a survey to chamber members to kind of gauge interest and participation in this program. And the goal for this is to work together to make your chamber membership more valuable by offering perks or discounts to other members. And so be looking for something in your email from myself and James as a survey to participate in that program. Brandon Pennington with tourism couldn't be here today, but he did send a list of announcements to make for events that are coming up in Harlan County for the next month. First is coming up this Friday. They're calling it the Shamrock the Night event in downtown Harlan. This will be a 5K glow run taking place this Friday at 6 p.m. And then there will be an outdoor socially distanced concert by Random Rock Radio on the Bicentennial main stage, and that will start at 7. They're also doing the Harlan Chows Down event again this year. This will take place on Wednesday, April 7th. Be on the lookout for spectacular deals at some of your favorite restaurants and food trucks in Harlan. The Harlan County Jeep Crawl is returning to the Tri-Cities area on April 9th and 10th. There will be live music, vendors, group rides, and lots of Jeeps. This event is hosted by the Harlan County Jeepers and the Dragon Slayer Highway 160. And Dragon Slayer is kind of a partner of Backroads of Appalachia, which just joined the organization. And then the Raven Rock 5K is taking place again this year. It will be Saturday, April 10th up at Kingdom Come State Park. This foot race takes place along some of the most extraordinary rock formations in Kentucky. You can find information on this event along with all the others on the Visit Harlan County Facebook page. And so that's all I have for announcements. If anyone else has announcements, I'll give you just a second to come off mute, make any announcements that would be for the benefit of the chamber. Hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to our guest speakers for this month. Today we're joined by 2 guest speakers. I'm going to introduce them both one at a time. First is Ariel Fugate. Ariel Fugate joined the Mountain Association in 2018. She coordinates the Mountain Association's communications, including their online presence, printed publications, general media coverage and outreach, and storytelling. A certified project management professional, Ariel previously served as a communications specialist supporting 2 Marine Corps bases with strategic communications, public affairs, and outreach to build strong community partnerships and grow environmental conservation projects around the installations. After graduating from North Carolina State University, she started and managed a local produce program for a major chain of 100+ grocery stores, including marketing, event planning, and farmer outreach and education. Ariel's favorite spot in Eastern Kentucky is the mighty waterfall at Bad Branch Falls, which is right down in our neck of the woods. So that's really cool. Well, we're also joined today by John Mark Hack. John Mark Hack joined the Mountain Association as lending director in 2020. He is responsible for the leadership development and implementation of their lending work. Previously, he gained decades of experience from serving as a Peace Corps volunteer, county extension agent, and the first executive director of the Governor's Office of Agricultural Policy, where he led the development of the Kentucky Agricultural Development Fund. Since leaving the governor's office, he has worked in business, taught at the university level, co-founded a nonprofit, as well as a successful farm-based business, and more. He chairs the Mission Behind Bars and Beyond board. He serves on the board and executive committee for the Kentucky Association of Manufacturers. John Mark has a bachelor's from Transylvania University in political science and a master's in cultural anthropology from the University of Kentucky. Outside of work, he enjoys spending time with his family, travel, riding, the outdoors, cooking, music, cycling, and tennis. You do it all, John Mark. His favorite spot in Eastern Kentucky is the Ridge Trail at Cumberland Gap National Historic Park, which is also not too far from our neck of the woods. So Ariel and John Mark will speak today on programs offered through the Mountain Association, from energy savings to free business consulting and affordable business loans. The Mountain Association is a great resource for Eastern Kentucky businesses and organizations. So thank you both for joining us today. I'll turn the floor over to you and feel free to share any slides you might have.
Thanks, Colby. It's really nice to be with you all today. And the only way that it would be better is if Ariel and I had the opportunity to get in a car together and drive down there and be with you in person. It's a beautiful day for a drive to Harlan. And unfortunately, that's not the case. And in fact, I've never seen Ariel Fugate in person. I joined Mountain Association April 6th, and I've worked as closely with Ariel as I have with anybody in the organization, and have not yet had an opportunity to meet most of my coworkers in person. I'm really looking forward to that, and looking forward to getting down to Harlan just as soon as we're able to safely do so. So we do have a few slides, as Colby alluded to, that I'd like to share with you. So I'm going to share my screen now, and hopefully that works as it's supposed to. The Mountain Association is founded in 1976, a nonprofit community development financial institution that really is committed to, can you all see that screen okay, Colby?
Yes, we see like the full PowerPoint screen.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure how to advance the slides other than to have that full screen up, so I apologize for that.
That's all right. It looks fine on my end.
Okay. Anyway, we're an organization, a nonprofit organization, a community development financial institution that's dedicated to investing in the people and places of the 54 counties in Kentucky that are part of that hold an Appalachian designation by the Appalachian Regional Commission of the federal government. And if you see that map there, you can see our service area. It's dominated by Eastern Kentucky, but it also includes a significant portion of South Central Kentucky. And we're really about investing our financial and human resources into the development of an economy that's diverse, sustainable, equitable, and resilient. We've got a number of programs within the Mountain Association, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our lending and business support programs today. Ariel's going to talk with you about our energy programs, and both of those represent opportunities for Harlan County businesses. We only do small business lending, and because we're a nonprofit community development financial institution, we're in a position to take a little bit more risk than banks are. We're in a position to work with startups or with businesses who, for whatever reason, may have fallen on difficult times, like so many of our businesses have during the pandemic. We have a lot of flexibility in how we're able to work with businesses in a small business lending context. And what we're setting ourselves to the task of doing as we come out of the pandemic is reintroducing the Mountain Association to the folks in our service area. For up until last August, we were known as the Mountain Association for Community and Economic Development, or MACED. So that name may be more familiar to you than Mountain Association. But we made the good decision to shorten our name and reinvent our corporate identity. And we hope that all of that comes together in a way that is helpful to people in recognizing who we are and what we do. In addition to energy savings, we do a lot of storytelling about what's going on in our service area, and we're also focused on public policy issues that affect the people and businesses of the 54 counties that we serve. In the context of our business support services, one thing that sets us apart from banks is that we're able to offer technical assistance to businesses that might be helpful in their further growth and development. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. And by the way, if anybody has any questions and you want to interrupt me at any time, please feel free. I'm accustomed to being interrupted, so it won't hurt my feelings at all. So in the context of our small business lending and business support programs, we're not a bank. We do partner with banks, and we look forward to building relationships with banks in Harlan County and throughout our service area. But as I mentioned before, we do offer more flexibility than banks are often able to in dealing with business loans. And so if you know of folks in Harlan County or around in our service area that either have a new idea for a business startup or they have an existing business and are looking for additional financing, we definitely want to talk to you about that. We can make loans ranging from $1,000 to well over $1 million. And again, we're pretty flexible with our rates and repayment terms. We just this week got approval from the U.S. Treasury to serve as a Paycheck Protection Program lender. So we're just getting into the PPP loan business. But we feel like that the timing for our entry into that is pretty good because of the recent changes that have been made to the PPP program that extends eligibility to sole proprietors and Schedule C tax filers, which is by far the most common business organization type in Kentucky. And so if you haven't yet applied for a PPP program or a loan and would like to learn more about that, then I encourage you to contact me and we would be happy to chat with you about that. The great thing about those Paycheck Protection Program loans is that provided that you meet the eligibility criteria, those loans are forgivable, which means you don't have to pay them back. And in my world, loans that you don't have to pay back are pretty good deals. So if you haven't taken advantage of the PPP program, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on that. We also introduced what we call a flood recovery loan in the wake of the most recent flooding that the folks in the eastern part of the state and other parts of the state have dealt with. That we can loan up to $5,000 at a fixed term of 5% for 3 years to assist businesses in recovering from the impact of those devastating floods that so many people have struggled through. Another thing that sets us apart is that we do lending for businesses around the subject of energy and energy savings. And working in collaboration with our energy team at the Mountain Association, we're able to finance both energy efficiency loans. That is, if you have a large physical space or any size physical space for that matter that you occupy in your business, and you want to make upgrades to, say, for example, lighting or heating and air conditioning systems. We're in a position to make loans specifically for those purposes. And Ariel's going to talk a little bit more about those in just a second. But in our experience, the businesses that have taken advantage of those types of loans have seen significant savings in their monthly energy bills. And for those businesses where one of the biggest expenses is energy, that can make a big difference in whether or not a business thrives or struggles. In addition to that, and Ariel will talk more about that, we make loans for businesses to install solar energy production systems on their premises. And we have a really unique product. In we can finance up to 100% of a solar installation for a business, and we can do that at a 4% fixed rate for as long as a 20-year repayment period. So that's another product that really sets us apart from banks. Moving on from the loans that we offer to the business support services that we offer, we're in a position to connect you as business owners or nonprofit leaders to a network of professional service providers that can help your business improve. And we have a number of providers from different fields that work with businesses throughout our service area on a regular basis. And you can see on the slide, they do things like assisting in website design and development, strategic planning, in getting your books in order. Whether you've been in business for a month or 10 years, as a business owner myself, I know firsthand the struggles of sound financial management in businesses. And oftentimes it's really helpful to just get a financial checkup to make sure that the systems we had in place are really helping us monitor the success and well-being and wealth development that all of us want out of our businesses. But we also offer business support services and things like social media and marketing plans and efficiencies, process efficiencies and process improvement. And as I mentioned before, energy efficiency and solar projects. So I will stop there and take a breath and invite my colleague, Ariel Fugate, to pick up and tell you a little bit about our energy programs. And once she finishes, Colby, perhaps if anybody has any questions, we can cover them at the end of the presentation. So Ariel?
Yeah, and just want to tag on one thing about the business support services. I just want to say you don't necessarily have to be a loan client if you're not looking for a loan. We do have a rolling application every quarter. We accept applications from people who don't have loans with us. So you can find information about that on our website or get in touch with me and I can send you the link. I think the next deadline is April 30th, and those would be for projects that would start sometime in May. So just to add to that. And yes, so Carrie, our energy program coordinator, couldn't join us today. She's really the energy expert, but I know just enough to give you probably the information that you need right now. So one thing that we have definitely seen over the past decade is that energy bills keep going up. Understand that most of Harlan County is on KU, and they are actually in the middle of a rate case right now with the Public Service Commission in Frankfort, where they're going to be increasing rates yet again, most likely. So this is just something that a lot of businesses and nonprofits have really found that they can incorporate to save a little bit of money. So if John Mark, you could go to the next slide. I just wanted to share a couple of our success stories, and one grocery store that we've worked with in ISOM actually has the lowest energy bills they've had since the 70s, ISOM IGA, and that's pretty impressive when you think about how Kentucky Power rates have also gone up in that area. So we've worked with Gwen, the owner there, to make major efficiency upgrades, and last year, she finally made the step of adding solar to the roof. So together, all of those savings have added up to, actually, I think it's more than $47,000 now. So what our team does is they come out and visit your business and check all of your equipment, lighting, any leaks or cracks that you might have in your building. And they make a really detailed report showing exactly what upgrades you can make and how much those will bring you in savings. And there's no cost to those services for nonprofits or for businesses. And then it's up to you if you want to work with a contractor to make those changes. And we can recommend a list of contractors that you can contact. Actually, one of our auditors who will come out to your business is Scott Shoup. He's got a business out of Cumberland, so he could be at your business maybe the next day. And then also on this slide just shows a couple of the other success stories that we've had with Lee County government, community centers, libraries. We work with everybody. And the next slide is one of my favorites. This is a Laurel Warehouse. They're a grocery warehouse who made a big investment in just LED lighting. So we gave them a big list of recommendations, and they thought, okay, we can definitely do this lighting. And so they invested, over 100,000 in new lights for a huge warehouse, and they saved 54,000 the first year. So that really came back quickly, paid for itself in just under 2.5 years. So that's just one example of some of these savings. I mean, usually LED lights are a no-brainer for most places that we work with. I think the last slide kind of shows our process. Yeah, so we have a really short application that you can fill out. Just gives us a little information on your building, like if you're on gas or electric heat, who your service provider is. It's really short, take you about 10 minutes to fill out. And then our team will give you a call to talk about what the next steps are. And then we will schedule that visit. Usually takes about 2 hours, depending on the size of your building. They will provide that report and any kind of support you might need going from there. And that also includes lending, like John Mark mentioned, if you need a loan to make some of the improvements. That also includes grant applications. So we have 2 programs that we work through. One's the USDA Rural Energy for America program. And we've had a lot of businesses get major grants for their projects. So like Long's One and Up in Bell County is one example of someone who got several $1,000s to put towards their project. But we have tons of examples of those. And for farms, we also have a program we help people apply through Governor's Office of Ag Policy for grants for their projects. So there are definitely a lot of options for financing and getting money that will help you make some of those changes. And let's see. Yeah, I know we have worked with Christ Hands, Maridzo Ministries in Harlan County. So we have a lot of people you can contact if you're curious to learn more from a neighbor who's worked through our program. Yeah, that previous slide just shows some of our bragging points. I didn't put my name on here, probably should have done that. But Carrie, like I said, she's the one who can answer your really specific energy questions. My email is just ariel@mountainassociation.org. So yeah, I think we could take some questions if you're all are ready.
Yeah, Ariel, the one thing I just want to add on is that in addition to the business community, we also
Should they start? Should it be a phone call or the website? What's your all's advice?
Yeah, just reach out to us either by phone or by email. We do have a lot of great information on our website. If you want to learn more about what we do, please don't hesitate to visit there. That's recently been redesigned to make it easier to navigate and more informative and better to look at. It's a great improvement in our operations. But that number that's on the screen now is my mobile number, and I'm available most any time. And when I'm not, I won't answer, but I'll call you right back. But email and phone contact, Colby, are the easiest ways to get a hold of us.
Good deal. I also
Yeah. We
wondered,
also have,
go ahead, Ariel.
I was going to have a newsletter and social media if you want to follow along. We're always sharing different opportunities through those avenues as well. And you can sign up for those on our website or just search us on social media.
Awesome. I also wondered, do you all have any specific programs that cater to women-owned businesses or veteran-owned businesses?
We, in Colby, in the context of our lending and business support services and our energy programs, we are especially interested in working with parts of the business community that have not necessarily been well served in the past. And those include women-owned businesses. They include businesses owned by returning veterans and returning citizens, people coming back from incarceration. In our state, we have a number of our friends and family members who are in that situation. And we know beyond any doubt, the data tells us really clearly that gainful employment or business ownership is the number one most influential factor in ensuring that people don't reoffend and go back to prison. So we're interested in working with underserved populations across the board throughout our service area. We don't have any specific products designated especially for those groups, but all of our products are applicable to the unique needs of businesses owned by women, by people of color, by returning veterans, by returning citizens, by people active in recovery. We are interested in making loans to all of the above.
Great. I also thought that some folks might find it interesting to learn a little bit more about the Airbnb training you offer. Is that done online, or how does that work?
Ariel, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, sorry, I think there's a little delay on my computer here. So we are offering our Airbnb program virtually now, which is a big change because we used to just offer in person. So we don't have a standing date for that right now, but if people are interested in learning more about starting your own Airbnb business, we're always sharing dates for those or information through that newsletter that I mentioned or social media. Or they can just get in touch with me and I can put them on a waiting list for our next one. But that's definitely been something a lot of communities have been interested in hosting. We've worked with tourism commissions to put those on in communities over the past couple of years. Just teaches you exactly how to set up a Airbnb.
Great. We've had quite a few Airbnbs pop up in Harlan County, and I think that other folks might be interested in tagging along in that endeavor. John Mark, it looks like there was a question you answered in the chat. Would you care to just restate that for the recording? I think you're on mute.
Yeah. Sorry about that. We had one question in the chat pertaining to collateral for our loans. There are parts of us that are unique from other lenders and parts of us that will feel similar to other lenders. One of those is we do require some level of security for the money that we loan. But we have more flexibility than most private lenders have in the type of collateral that we can accept and the level of collateral that we require. There's not a blanket answer to that question. We take it on a case-by-case basis, but we would love the opportunity to explore whatever your business loan needs are and determine how we can work together.
Great, great. Any other questions from the audience?
Hey, Cody. This is Scott Sherman. I also want to say thanks to the Mountain Association. I work here at a bank in Harlan, and recently had a client come in a few months ago wanting to start a recovery center. Looked at the loan. I knew it was a loan that a bank couldn't do here in Harlan, so I referred them to the Mountain Association, and I believe they was able to get that loan approved, and the business opened recently. So I do want to thank them for that, and also take advantage of the energy audits we have here in our community, folks. Scott Shoup had done 3 of my commercial properties, and also done a Cumberland Tourism building for us a few months back, and it was a great help for us.
Awesome.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for that
Scott.
comment, Scott.
Yeah.
We should have let you do the presentation, Scott.
I remember meeting you, Scott, I think at our session we did for faith-based groups at the courthouse.
Yeah.
In 2019. So nice to hear from you again.
And disclaimer, Scott Shoup does rent an office space off of me, but that has nothing to do with my opinion of his services.
Yeah. What shapes your opinion of him is how he pays his rent, I would assume. But
that does help. But
yeah. Well, Scott raises a really important point for us. We are not as familiar to the independent and community banking community throughout our service area as we need to be. And Ariel and I started talking about how we can improve relationships with our partners, with our banking partners, especially independent and community banks throughout our service area. We started talking about that last summer. 2 of our board members, Mountain Association board members, are independent community bankers, and we've collaborated with them recently, and we've got a plan, Scott, for moving forward to connect with you and your colleagues in the banking community throughout our service area, and would love to follow up with you on that, just to share some things with the banking community about how we might be good partners for you in things like considering the loans that you may not be able to make, like the recovery house that we recently financed, or considering how we might be able to partner with you or participate with you in certain loans to help you check the boxes that you need to check under the regulations that you operate within, and also to make bankers aware of the energy services that we have for your existing clients. So we'd love to follow up with you on that to just improve our communication with the banking community.
Well, I'd be glad to talk to you. And I know the other local banks would be as well. I think, years ago we had Pine Mountain Development Corporation here, and since we've lost them, we've kind of a little bit of a void compared to what we used to have as far as CDFI funds here in the county. So good to see you all stepping up, and I do thank you all for that.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
I do have one thing I forgot to mention. I can just hear Carrie in my in my head. She wanted me to let y'all know that KU has rebates right now that can help you also get more money for doing lighting upgrades and different things like that. And she wanted me to emphasize that you never know how long those are going to last. They've had the rebates for a couple years, but a lot of the other utilities in the state have done away with those rebate programs. So definitely something to take advantage of if you can. And we can, if we do an audit for you, we can provide you a lot of information on how to get those.
Great. Well, if we don't have any other questions, I want to say a special thank you to Ariel and John Mark for both joining us today. We appreciate you spending part of your lunch hour to chat with some of our chamber members and share this information with us. So thank you again for joining us.
Colby, thank you for the opportunity, and I hope we get another shot at doing something similar in person sometime in the near future. We'd love to make the drive down to Harlan.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you at any of our meetings. And I think we are trying to shoot for May as a return to getting back to in-person meetings. So we'd love to have you anytime.
Great.
Well, if that's all we have for today, I do want to make one more announcement before we all head our separate ways. Next month, we will be doing another virtual meeting on April 14th at 12 p.m. And we'll send out the emails and the Zoom link like we've done these last few months. And our guest speaker for next month will be Bobby Clark with Sustainable Business Ventures. Bobby's going to talk about some of the programs and support that his organization can offer to startups and entrepreneurs. So we look forward to seeing everyone here back next month if you all can make it. And we hope that you have a good and safe time in between. Hope everyone can stay safe from COVID and get vaccinated when that opportunity comes to them. So thank you all. We'll part ways this way, and thank you again for being here.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.